Hey guys, how we doing? Just kind of a little progress report. The events of the evening, I guess. The day started off, I received 3-jaw chuck, a 10-inch 3-jaw chuck. I got it mounted, and I have one lug. All of them are pretty consistent. You tighten it up all the way and you back it up 3 turns and everything lines up. But there's one on the 4-jaw in this one, it turns out, that it needs to be rotated out 4 turns. So I'll mark that one on the real sugar, wherever it's supposed to be marked at, wherever it'll be beneficial. Got the back room organized, getting close to getting the KO. All I need to do is get a wire back there. My cousin's got a bunch of wire from the arena. That's not a problem. I can go with the 20 amp 250 volt sockets, 4-element sockets, and they're not terribly expensive. And I need to get another 220 outlet in my breaker box up on that wall there. I actually have another one. I don't like it. It's supposed to be dedicated for the welder, but the socket I'm using now is for the electric heater that's up on top of the sticker cabinet, and I might want to use that heater and the lathe or grinder at the same time. So that's one more electrical thing I need to look at. But I want to get the grinder set so I can go, I can start learning something on that machine. Tonight here on the lathe, after installing the 3-jaw chuck, I started with a 1-foot long piece of aluminum. And it's obviously, doesn't really matter. It's obviously not a foot long anymore. Which scale do you grab? So we've taken 6 1/4 inches off of it. And what I was doing was, what happens when I put this here and put this here, and what happens if I put this up here and this down here and that. Just kind of feeling out this gearbox and these controls and trying to, get an understanding and a feel for it. I'm sure whatever I was doing was wrong, but I'm just checking things out, just feeling it out. That's my learning process. So I turned quite a bit of aluminum, playing around like that. Try to cut a couple threads, and I think threading on this machine is so simple that I just keep screwing it up. One thing is I total disregard for the thread dial. I don't even look at it, and I do okay for a while. Could be story time again. I've told this story before, but I've never really satisfied with the impression it leaves. The true horror, maybe not horror, but fright just the same, and just the absurdity of the whole situation. And so I'm going to attempt to tell this story again and try to lend it its gravity that it deserves. So, for whatever reason, I'm in North Carolina in the Blue Ridge Mountains on the Blue Ridge Parkway. I'm working at a place called the Pisgah Inn. And the Pisgah Inn is a motel with, I think, 50 or 100 hotel rooms. I think 350 campsites on the other side of the road. And it had a beautiful restaurant with wall-to-wall windows looking out over the mountains. And you could see the Vanderbilt mansion, actually, across. You could see 3 states. Matter of fact, the site of the restaurant, the employee dining room and in the upper rooms where the owners lived, was the Vanderbilt's hunting lodge. And sprinkled through the woods around that large varnished building were cabins, and that's where all us employees stayed. And we made an agreement to stay till the end of the color season when the leaves change, and then you would make a deal. You get all your they'd take money for meals out every week and take money for room and board, and and they would make a deal where you get your room and board, your food, and an extra of $3 an hour if you fulfill the contract. So it was a pretty decent little job. A lot of college students, summer work for them, and the situation why I was there is not really important, but it was a transitional time in my life, let's say. So I work in the snack bar. I'm the snack bar cook, the PM snack bar cook, and I'm also the nighttime janitor, clean the kitchen. And the owner would come through there at 4 in the morning and inspect. He would hide things behind the caster under the pizza oven. And he'd come in and see if you saw that, make sure, you swept back there. So, college kids, bunch of people living in little cabins. When I was my first night there, they didn't have a bed for me, so that I was using the night watchman's accommodations, and they walked me into the cabin and they pulled a Frisbee out from under the bed, and there was some leafy green matter there with little slips of paper, and there was half gallons of alcohol on the wall, and all the comforts at home. So I get off work, at 1 in the morning maybe, and maybe I have a peanut butter jar with half full of Jack Daniels and maybe a couple of marijuana cigarettes, and so I take off on a night hike. So I'm staying on the paved road, the Blue Ridge Parkway. I walk so far one direction, turn around and come back. I'm not going to get lost. And seemed like it was a pretty good idea. So I kept going by this one thing that said overlook, 1.5 miles, 2 miles, whatever it was. And I had no idea what an overlook was. But the trail was 12, 15 feet wide. It was a full moon. Visibility was good. So I take off up this trail. And it's 3 in the morning in the Smoky Mountains. And I'm walking a little high, a little drunk, and I hear this unnatural sound, loud. I mean, it freezes me in my tracks. I am like, what in the hell is that? Thoughts of deliverance are in my mind. I'm thinking, who's out there and what are they doing and what's going to happen tonight? So somehow I get the courage or the stupidity to keep moving. So, you know, I noticed the sound was coming from my left. So I'm walking a little further. A few minutes later, I'm going up the trail. And I hear this noise again. And this time, it's behind me. You know, I'm kind of freaking out. And on, I walk on a little further. And now it's in front of me. And I'm getting kind of freaked out. And I keep going on. And I'm still thinking about deliverance. And so what happened is I was walking up a mountain in a circular fashion. And at the top of that mountain was a television transmission tower. And strapped to that tower were fiberglass aluminum aerials. And the wind would grab those things periodically and bang them against the side of that tower. Well, I almost forgot. I wanted to share this with you. The lathe is, you know, it was in good shape when I got it. You know, it wasn't. You know, but this is what I was dealing with in the very beginning. And it's gone from that to a nice clean chip pan. And everything is getting oiled as it should be. It's just that pesky mind of its own clutch. Seems like if you change gears and look at it a certain way, it behaves a little differently. One tooth at a time is the adjustments.